What's good, guys? This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. What Nikon has been able to do in a short period of time is just remarkable. What the Nikon Z6 III has meant for Nikon and its user base is just extraordinary. This camera, like I predicted, would be a massive, massive hit, a massive upgrade. A few years ago, a lot of people, a lot of industry know-it-alls, right, were writing Nikon off. 2016, 2017. Was I having some doubts? Sure, I think we all were. What Nikon has been able to do in this short period of time from 2018 to 2024, 6 years, is simply remarkable. Not only do they have amazing camera bodies, just look at the lens selection, these exotic primes, this amazing, these zoom lenses that they've come out with, the Z mount. They rounded their lineup of Z lenses and they pretty much put out a lens for every category. You got amazing wide angles, mid-range, amazing zoom lenses, not to mention these exotic, amazing primes, the PF lenses, 600, the 800, the 400, 4.5. I mean, the list goes on and on. Let's look at the Z9, for example, a camera that stands by itself. There is really no competition for this Nikon Z9 camera. What I mean by that is, just look at what this camera can do. Look at the design of the camera, the megapixels, just the way the camera is built. No shutter, a fast sensor. The Z8, the little brother of the Z9. Now we got the Z6 III, which is another phenomenal, affordable. And when I say affordable, that can be argued, but at $2,500 and the features that the Z6 III has, this camera is not $6,000, $7,000. Let me tell you something. It is truly, I think, in my opinion, somewhat of a game changer. If you think about it, you're getting 6K video, a great hybrid option. Features after features after features. This camera is just simply amazing. Then you got a camera that's another unique camera that stands alone, a full frame retro option. Let's not forget the Nikon ZF. That camera has been nothing short of spectacular for me. I've been using the ZF every day for videos, for photo shoots. It's just a fun camera. No other manufacturer has a Nikon ZF type camera, a full frame retro styled amazing camera. And who would have predicted this one? They purchased Red, one of the leaders in cinema technology. I didn't call that. Did you? I didn't call that at all. So Nikon is full of surprises, and they just keep going up and up and up. So I am happy for the brand. Sure, I disagree with some of their marketing strategy, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't need to agree with everything. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I don't have any affiliate links in the bottom. I'm not saying to go click on my link to buy this camera. No, I'm just a photographer that so happens to have a YouTube channel to show you what I've experienced. I've been with Nikon for years. Even in the dog days, 2016, 2017, when a lot of photographers were ditching the brand for something in the mirrorless realm, I stuck around. I didn't sell my stuff. I still had my DSLRs because I had hope. A big brand like this with a lot of history, I knew they had something up their sleeve, and wow, did they deliver. I know a lot of brands, for example, Canon, they stuck to their guns when it comes to flagship technology. They stuck to their recipe, and that's okay. A lot of people were waiting for the R1 to have this and that, and they basically stuck to their script. Their flagship is a lower megapixel sports fast camera, right? They've always done that, and the R5s and remember the D5s, not the D5s, the 5D Mark IIs, 5D Mark IIIs, 5D Mark IVs were the higher megapixel option. And the flagship was the lower, faster camera. They stuck to that script. Nikon did something totally different. They took risks. They introduced a high megapixel flagship, with no shutter. Man, like they surprised us with a lot of things. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, the red purchase. Now they're talking about implementing some of that red technology in future hybrid cameras. That's good news for me. I like that, you know. This whole thing started with their introduction to the Z6 and Z7, which were good cameras. They had some flaws. Which cameras don't have flaws, right? But Nikon addressed these flaws with the new additions. But that Z9, when they came out with that Z9, that really, really set the bar for what this brand is all about, guys. Now I'm here making this video. I don't have a script. Most of my videos, 99.9% of my videos, I don't really use a script. It's all off the cuff. I'm just giving you my opinions and my user experience using this brand. Let's not deny the fact that Nikon's doing great things. So are other brands. Fuji's been doing their thing. Sony, of course, a giant in this industry. Sure, Canon still holds the lead in market share. Of course, they're a company that's maybe 6, 7, 10 times the size of Nikon. So anyway, the Z6 III, I've watched a lot of reviews. I've used the camera a couple of times. And what I see in a Z6 III at a $2,500 price point is simply amazing. I mean, that camera's awesome. And hopefully we'll have a Z7 III. Nikon don't sleep on that because it's important. No matter what these influencers or no matter what these YouTube pundits say, you don't really need a Z7 III. I know there's people out there that want that higher 60 megapixel and above full frame camera. I know that there's photographers out there that want Nikon to develop a medium format. You never know. Like I said, Nikon's full of surprises. And again, like I said, I don't agree with some of their marketing strategies. I think that they can really do a little of a better job showing us not so much the influencer, youngster, hipster crowd, but that day-to-day photographer that goes out and shoots sports, or that day-to-day photographer that does photojournalism, wedding photography. It's surprising, you know, when I go out and shoot weddings and it's a venue where there's different bridal parties everywhere, I see my friends, I see my peers with their bridal party, their cameras. A few years ago, I was the only one shooting Nikon at these weddings. But now I see my friends, my peers in the same market using a Z8, using a Z9. I was like, wait, what happened to your Canons? What happened to your Sonys? So, you know, people are waking up to what Nikon's doing. I've always been a big fan of the Nikon color science, been a big fan of the Nikon lenses, of course. Ergonomics, which plays a big factor in my selection of brand. Ergonomics is maybe number one for me because the color science and the other things, you can pretty much get close with editing or dialing in the right settings. But ergonomics is so key, and lenses, which those two things Nikon's got solid. So, and this is not to knock other brands. Other brands have their strengths and weaknesses. There are things that Canon does that Nikon does not do right now. There are things that Sony does and Fuji. But I like where Nikon is at right now. I'm very happy where Nikon is at, and I think that the future is bright for this brand. You know, they're full of surprises, like I said. And hey, where's my Z500, right, guys? A pro-level APS-C for that birder that wants more reach, that wants native APS-C files. $1,600 to $1,700 camera, something to compete with an R7, and their lineup will be complete. The new X-Speed 7 processor is amazing. It does the job, and it's fast. The autofocus, in my opinion, is caught up to all the manufacturers. Sure, Canon with their R1 and their R5 too, they really did something to the industry with this new technology, right? One thing that stood out to me was the ability of these Canon cameras to track the athlete, whoever has the ball. That's just simply awesome. And I think that technology is coming to Nikon and other brands. 2016, those days, D850, I had a couple of those cameras. I will not ditch my DSLRs. I'm starting to fall in love with these older F-mount AFS lenses. I I just put out a ZF with an older lens video. Yesterday I went back and watched that video. I was like, damn, this lens is actually a great lens. The 7200 VR2 lens, which you can probably pick one up for $800 right now. I attached the FTZ adapter to that thing, got my ZF, and I did some video and some photo stills. And it was incredible. It was incredible how the ZF was able to drive that lens into a great, awesome performer. I can honestly say that the ZF with the 7200 performed better than a DSLR would on the 7200. It just made that lens that much more amazing. So I'm starting to fall in love with older lenses like this. If you haven't seen that video, the ZF with older lens video, I'll put the link in the description and above. Check that video out, guys, because I was pleasantly surprised at what the ZF was doing with this lens. Even with video tracking, I was walking close to the camera and it would just track me smoothly. There was no haunting, jitters. There's nothing like that. DSLR will always have a home for me. I have a D5, I have a D3X, I have a D4, I have a D800. I mean, yeah, mirrorless, you got technology up the wazoo. But these DSLRs, it just brings me nostalgia. You could feel the shutter as you're taking a picture. And that's special on its own. So yeah, I'm not getting rid of that. If in the future I find a mint condition D6, I will pick one up and just savor that thing forever. All you Z6 III owners, sure you're happy. I know there's been a lot of talk about DR, dynamic range issues. I'll tell you right now, there's no issue. There's really no issue. I think people, if you're gonna go out there and shoot that bad and you need to recover 5-6 stops, I think you should just take some classes in photography or something. Try to get it right in camera, guys. I say that. Stop, take your time, look around you, try to get it right in camera, as close to right in camera, so you don't have to bring it up 5-6 stops, or bring up the shadows and this and that. I don't shoot that way, so it's not an issue for me, and it's probably not an issue for you. So all right, guys, well, that's about it. All you Nikon shooters out there, including myself, very, very happy. Again, I've been with the brand for years. Hey, in the future, I might pick something else up and shoot it on the side, but I don't see myself ditching the brand anytime soon because they're doing a phenomenal job. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Let me know in the comments if you agree or if you disagree with anything I said in this video. Rock and roll.